If you implement what I tell you to in this video, by the end, you shouldn't be as scattered and you should get a lot more done and you'll feel a lot better. It is actually really easy, this shift, and it just makes things better. Let's hop right in. Super scheduling. What is super scheduling? Super scheduling, put simply, is extreme time management. But by extreme, I really mean simple time management. Instead of making things more complicated, we're actually just going to simplify everything, and that will make things more extreme. So this is actually less work. It makes you feel better, and it makes you get more done. This super scheduling, extreme time management. And it's very similar. Like the way you can think about this, like the concept it's very similar to is batching tasks, where I'm going to do all of the same thing similarly in a row. A lot of people do time blocking, and time blocking is great. Time blocking can be an example of super scheduling. In fact, I'm going to give you an example of when time blocking is super scheduling. Let's say that you are somebody who's trying to be productive. So you set the first 4 hours of your day to deep work. Okay, cool, awesome, good job. That's a really good decision. And then you have lunch, and then maybe you find that, after lunch, you're digesting. I do recommend this. Don't try to be productive after you eat. For me, there's like a 30-minute window where I can still get something in, but then after that, it's like body is spending too much energy digesting for you to actually remain focused. There's a big cognitive decline here. But so let's say like you want to get a lot done though. So you wind up waiting until like the moment you feel like you can, like maybe it's like an hour or 2 hours, and then you just jump back into it and you try and crank in another 4 hours. But at the same time, let's say you have a commitment where it's like, well, there's this activity that I really want to do. And what winds up happening is I wind up not going to the activity or not doing this 4 hours of deep work. Like I try to fit them all together and it just doesn't work. Like it always seems to be like something's cutting into something else. And guess what? This is exasperated by all the random little, where are we going, things that pop up in the middle of the day. Something could happen and you could be distracted, and then it's like this whole block is shot, and like maybe this is eaten into, and it's just like bad. And you're just trying to get stuff done. But the problem here, like what's actually going on here, is there's a lack of focus. And the reason there's a lack of focus is because you're like trying to do all these things. Like you're trying to rest, you're trying to work again, but you're also trying to do this activity. Like you're trying to cram it all in and get all of these different things. You're trying to hit every beat. And you might say, well, Flowforge, that's literally just what I have to do. Like I just want to get these things done. And it's like, cool, that's great. You're being a productive person. Awesome. You're improving yourself. You're improving something. You're working on something real. But trying to hit every beat is exhausting. This is a high cognitive and executive cost. And when you have ADHD, your executive functions are shot. This is so managerial and intense, trying to hit every beat, trying to do all these different things. And guess what? When you have ADHD, you have hyperfocus, because ADHD is a disorder that disrupts your management ability for attention. Like it's not that you don't have attention or you're bad at paying attention, it's that you really struggle with managing that attention. So you're either scattered or you're completely locked in, and there is no in between. You're either going to be dilly-dallying, sputtering, flying all over the place, or you're going to be completely zoned, locked in the zone. And so this just doesn't work for you. Like trying to hit every single beat, especially if they're in different theaters of operation. I mean, you could kind of get away with this if you have one theater of operation and there's different things going on inside it. Like to your brain, it's like, oh, I'm not context switching, it's okay. That's kind of okay. But over the course of the whole day and you're trying to do different activities, no, it's just your brain hates it. Normal people's brain hates it. Yours hates it even more. And a great analogy that I've heard from somebody before when they're talking about hyperfocus is when you're focusing, it feels like you're digging a hole, and then if something tries to pull you out, like if somebody tries to get your attention, get you to go do something else, it feels like you have to climb a ladder back up out of that hole. And this is extremely draining. This is a very draining feeling. It's very cognitively taxing, and you wonder why you're exhausted at the end of the day. You're trying to do too much in a day. Well, dang, that sucks. Okay, but how can I do it all then? It's actually very simple, and your brain is going to love this because it's going to give you security. So super scheduling, let's take a look at this example again. You got work, lunch, work, and then whatever activity you're doing. We'll say it's soccer or video games or whatever. What if we just instead chose that, okay, you know what? Today is a work day. That's literally all it is. We're just going to work. Obviously, you have to eat. Obviously, you have to take a shower. Obviously, you have to do these things. But guess what? Those things can pop in. And like those are the maintenance things. Those are the things you can't avoid. Literally cannot avoid them. But you have this longer buffer area where it's like, oh, now you see these points where it's like, oh, you're kind of distracted. You're like moving from one task to the next. You're not really focused yet. But these areas in between where you are focused, there's more of them for longer. And what that does is it creates security for your brain, and it creates a higher output and higher quality of work because you're not stressed. You're not context switching, which is extremely draining. And what you're really doing here is you're extracting the maximum value out of whatever it is you're working on. And I call this blessing your days, where it's like, okay, today is going to be for one thing, and we're going to be extreme about it. All the focus, all the energy, all of it is going to go on this one thing, and we're going to go just as far as my brain will let me go. And guess what? Your brain loves this. It just has permission. That's what's going on. When you super schedule, you give yourself permission to just go. But so like the example right now is like today is my content day. So I don't try to make content and upload it the day before. I mean, sometimes I've wound up doing that. I'm always experimenting with my schedule. So like hiccups happen, which by the way, like that happens too. Like you just need to be patient as you're trying to make your schedule and figure out what works for you. But today is my content day. So instead of trying to do like all these different videos and then like think of new videos, ideas, and then do this and do this, it's like, I just do it all today. Like the only task that I have today is think about videos to record and record videos. And that's it. So my target is 4. I can go beyond that if I want. And then I just have them all batched for tomorrow. And guess what tomorrow is? Tomorrow is editing day. All I'm going to do is edit. Then beyond that, all I have is project work. That's it. Project work. Saturday is my day off. Saturday is completely relationships and gaming. That's what it is. Just hanging out with the boys. Gaming. But what this does is it creates an extreme level of focus. And your brain loves focus. Now I'm going to give you another example. So blessing your days is one example that works really well, but you can also bless your weeks. You can theme your weeks. You can theme your months, where it's like, I'm just going to focus on this one thing, go as far as I possibly can. Better yet, join the cult of done, which I got that from No Boilerplate. That's a really cool channel if you want to check it out. I'll put a link to him in the description. But you just want things finished. Like if you think of productivity as a game, the goal is to finish things. So many people, because they don't bless their days, because they don't super schedule, because they don't have this extreme level of focus, and they like keep going in and then out and then in and out, and you can never like catch a break to just be working on the thing. You never finish things. You just wind up scattered. And when you're scattered, you aren't thinking straight, and you start new projects, and then you do this thing, and then this task multiplies into this, and then suddenly you're going down a rabbit hole, and it's just, it's gnarly. So what you really want to do to create this security for your mind, so you stop stressing about like, oh my gosh, how's the work going to be done? It's literally just say, okay, brain, this is the window, and it's an extreme window, and it's way more time than we need, and we're just going to see like how much value can we output, how much can we extract, or we're going to hit a specific target. And the goal is to just be free. Like you do whatever you have to do that pops up, but you know your default is you come back to this. Now I'm going to give you one more example aside from blessing your days. So in this example, let's say you can't really bless your days. Like for whatever reason, it's just not really a possibility for you. Maybe you have to do this thing every single day. Maybe you have this other thing to do every single day, and it's just difficult. Okay, fine. What you can still do if you have to play this like beat mode game, which is a bad game to be playing, you can still choose to do this for part of it. And so what this would look like is maybe, if you feel sluggish and you have like poor quality work and things are like distracting you in the second block of work, maybe what you should do, and I'm sorry it's really messy, but like take this activity that you're trying to add extra, set a few days where you're going to do that, and then on those days, you don't do this work block. But then for the other days, this work block extends into where that time normally would have been. So you see what we just did there? We made it more extreme by rearranging things throughout the week. You can do this throughout the month, throughout the year, throughout the whatever. But this is how you get focus. This is how you extract value. You kind of want to think of productivity as a game of King of the Hill. It's like whoever is sitting on the hill for long enough wins. You want to stay in one place and keep pouring focus and extracting one thing until you hit finished or satisfied. And every time you're like bounced out of it, you can imagine it as like you're losing time faster than if you would have just stayed in the hill. Like you gain points for being on the hill, you lose points for being out here. When you're out here, you're losing points faster than you gain them by staying at the hill. That's kind of how you can think about this. And so you want to create these flow lanes that give your brain security, peace, and actually help you collect points. But all right, guys, thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. That is the most important stat to YouTube. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you like this content, if you want it to be pushed to more people. And go ahead and leave a comment about some of the difficulties that you face with scheduling. And if there's anything specific that you want to know, like go ahead and comment down below and I'll reply to you with whatever help I can think of. If you want to talk productivity, if you want to talk ADHD time management, go ahead and click the link up in the description. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out. Have a great day. Go all out.